Today, I want to share three very clear signals a woman often gives when attraction has already started to grow inside her. But stay with me until the third one, because it's the signal that happens right in front of people all the time, yet most men fail to recognize it when it actually matters. Curious. Before getting into the signs, there's something important you should understand. If you've ever missed moments like these before, it doesn't mean you were clueless, shy, or lacking confidence. Most men simply were never taught how to read the subtle language of female attraction, and that language works very differently from the way men usually experience desire. Thoughtful. When a man feels attracted, his response is often direct and straightforward. A woman's response tends to be more layered. She may feel the same spark, but instead of acting immediately, she often creates situations, small openings, and subtle tests. She rarely jumps forward on her own. Instead, she leaves clues and waits to see whether you notice them and step forward with confidence. Thoughtful psychology and evolutionary studies give a simple explanation for this pattern. For thousands of years, women needed to be cautious about who they trusted and who they allowed into their personal space. It wasn't about being difficult or selective for no reason. It was about safety and survival. Even today, those instincts still influence behavior on a subconscious level. That's why when attraction appears, it usually doesn't come out loudly. It appears quietly through small gestures and signals that many people overlook. Curious. The first sign appears through physical contact that seems unnecessary at first glance. This is more than a casual, accidental touch. The key detail is the way the touch happens and how long it lasts. She doesn't actually need to touch your arm while telling a story. She doesn't need to lightly push your shoulder when laughing at something you said, yet she still does it. Often, she may not even realize she's doing it intentionally. Curious, in psychology, this is sometimes described as initiation contact. When someone feels drawn to another person, their nervous system naturally looks for ways to reduce the physical distance between them. Touch becomes one of the easiest and most instinctive ways to do that. It's a quiet signal that her body feels comfortable moving closer to you. You might notice it in simple moments. She reaches out while speaking and lets her hand rest slightly longer than necessary. She taps your arm and doesn't pull back immediately. That extra second of contact might seem small, but it carries meaning. Thoughtful. It's often the moment when attraction begins to show itself through body language before any words are spoken. That tiny pause in the touch is important. It's her body expressing curiosity and comfort at the same time. While her mind may still be deciding how she feels, her natural instincts are already revealing that she enjoys the closeness. Curious. And if what you're hearing right now is starting to click with experiences you've had before, take a second to support the channel by hitting the like button. Chuckles. It helps continue sharing insights like this with you for free. The second signal appears in the way she looks at you. Most people have heard the phrase, a look of interest, but very few actually understand what changes in that moment. When a woman feels genuine attraction, her eyes begin to reveal it before she says a single word. Curious. One small but important detail is that her pupils expand slightly. This happens automatically. It's part of the body's natural reaction when someone feels excitement or emotional stimulation. She isn't choosing to do this, and she probably isn't even aware of it. It's simply the nervous system responding to the presence of someone she finds appealing. Another thing you'll notice is that her eye contact lasts longer than what would normally feel neutral in everyday conversation. Instead of quick, casual glances, she holds your gaze for a moment more. There is a quiet intensity in the connection. Exhales. And when she finally breaks that eye contact, she often lowers her gaze rather than turning it sideways. That downward glance is something psychologists who study body language have analyzed for many years. It is considered a subtle expression connected with openness and receptiveness. It's not something she consciously practices or learns from anywhere. It simply appears naturally when she feels a mixture of attraction and emotional vulnerability. You may notice a repeating pattern in these moments. She looks directly at you, a small smile forms on her face, then her eyes drop for a brief second before she lifts them again to meet yours. Then it happens again. That gentle rhythm of looking, smiling, glancing down, and reconnecting is almost like a silent message. Without speaking, it quietly communicates that she notices you and enjoys what she sees. Now we reach the third signal, the one that most men completely overlook, even though it happens right in front of them. This is when she begins creating a little pocket of privacy between the two of you. Imagine you're both in a group setting with friends or coworkers around. Out of nowhere, she finds a reason to separate the interaction from everyone else. Maybe she suggests stepping aside to grab a drink together. Maybe she calls you over to look at something in another part of the room. Sometimes she simply lowers her voice and speaks to you in a more personal tone, as if sharing something just between the two of you. These moments are rarely random. They usually come from intention. Psychological research on attraction shows that before a woman allows things to become more physically close, she often wants to create a space that feels emotionally comfortable and safe. By pulling you slightly away from the crowd, she's forming a small bubble where the two of you can connect more privately. At the same time, she's also watching how you respond. She wants to see whether you recognize the invitation and step into that space with confidence and calm presence. When a man understands what's happening and responds naturally, the connection tends to move forward without effort. Inside my complete guide called Secrets of Attraction, I go deeper into this. I explain not only how to notice these signals, but also how to react in a way that makes a woman feel that she's with someone who truly understands her energy. The link is in the description if you want to explore that further. Before you leave, remember one important thing. If you've missed signals like these in the past, it doesn't mean you lacked value or confidence. It simply means no one ever showed you how to recognize the subtle rules of attraction. Most men are trying to play the game without even knowing those rules exist. Now, you know 3 of them, and when knowledge is applied, it changes the way you see every interaction. The next time you notice one of these signals, you'll understand what's really happening and respond with a clarity that most men never develop. That kind of awareness is a real advantage, so use it wisely. Make sure you subscribe to Inside Her Heart so you don't miss the next lesson. The insights coming next will go even deeper into understanding attraction and connection.